Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 10 p.m.
I'm in my cul-de-sac, and that's not even the deepest part.
I don't remember our street being so flooded from just a regular rainstorm.
On News 6, families in fear tonight after a few inches of rain led to this flooding in one county.
In another local county, a rushing river just crested tonight right above flood stage. The good news, their flood warning is canceled.
But another round of rain is moving in, and some storms could be intense overnight. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas pinpoints how much rain you should expect and how fast it will fall.
Holy, that's a bear.
Yeah, it is. A deputy and canine chasing down a suspect on the run. Instead, they come face to face with that bear. See what happened next.
But we start now at 10 tonight with a warning for anyone filling up at a gas pump.
That's scary because they could wipe you out in a matter of minutes, and there's nothing you can do about it.
A skimming device found at a Central Florida gas station at a time when these things are getting harder to detect. In some cases, we're hearing of skimmers that also cover that tap to pay sensor. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
I'm Matt Austin. Luckily, police say this one was spotted by a vigilant gas station worker. They alerted Wildwood police last week at the 7-Eleven on Country Road 462 and US 301, a little south of the Villages. News 6 community correspondent Troy Campbell is in Wildwood at the gas station talking to drivers.
Wildwood police say they found that skimming device on one of the gas pumps here behind me. We spoke to some people who were filling up who say they're thankful that device has been removed. They found on one of these machines a skimming device at this gas station.
I just did my car, and so I hope they didn't take it already.
People filling up at this 7-Eleven along the 4,000 block of East County Road 462 in Wildwood, reacting to the discovery of this skimming device. They found a skimming device on it.
Oh no, that's scary. This is a brand new station. You wouldn't expect that somewhere that's new, but that is scary. I'm going to have to start checking that now.
Yeah, do you typically check?
Actually, no, I usually don't, but I guess I will now.
Driver Kimberly Buford says she rarely checks for skimming devices when getting gas. Can you imagine becoming a victim of this and what the effects of what that could entail?
That's scary because they could wipe you out in a matter of minutes, and there's nothing you can do about it.
What are your thoughts to hear in September 2025 at a gas station it's still happening?
It's easy money for them, so I guess, you know what I mean?
Driver Eugene Watkins says he typically checks for skimming devices each time he fills up. This is the picture from Wildwood Police. They said that they discovered this, so when they came here and they pulled it up, they realized there was the skimming device machine here. Do you have any thoughts?
I always check, so...
Yeah, explain.
Pull it to make sure that it doesn't come off easy. That's the easiest way for me to know if it's loose. Don't use it.
Wildwood police say the device was discovered last week by an employee checking the pumps. Thoughts on how luckily they were able to find it? They found the skimming device. The gas station, an employee here found it.
I think they should have regular checks every day just to make sure they're not on there. I'm sure they put them on at night, so night team just check it.
The employee found it, police found it, and they're putting the warning out there.
No, I think it's great that the employees are checking it and that they're keeping an eye on that for us, because a lot of people like me don't check it. So it's good that they do check that for us.
And Wildwood police also say you have other options to pay, including using your phone to tap and pay, or you can always go inside and use cash. In Wildwood, I'm your community correspondent, Troy Campbell, News 6.
Our other top story tonight is your weather. If you thought the intense stuff was over for the night, think again. More rain is moving in, and after a weekend of pounding rain, even a little bit can add up.
Yeah, this is video sent in just before dark. This is from the Altamont Springs area. You can see how fast the Little Wekiva River was rushing tonight and how high it crested just above flood stage. This is the San Sebastian trailhead along State Road 436 at 434.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. Jonathan, you said this came close to what we saw in Hurricane Ian?
No, the last time that it stayed far away from Hurricane Ian, we would see that thing way, way above. This was Hurricane Ian. But one of the more recent crests was in 2022. So, yeah, that was much, much higher. And Hurricane Ian, of course, that is a flood of record, I think, by like 8 more feet. So we had a long way to go for that. Scattered downpours in the mix. Daytona Beach through Palm Coast, Deltona. We have those downpours sliding back through. Scattered thunderstorms in the mix through the overnight hours. I think most of us will be quiet overnight, just really watching along the coast. That's going to be the best opportunity for some thunderstorms to slide back in. And then once we get into tomorrow, that's when the next round of rain really starts to ramp up, especially right around lunchtime and then through the evening. We'll take you hour by hour and show that higher resolution future radar, guys, coming up at about 10:17.
All right, Jonathan, we will see you then. Thank you. More rain is not welcome news in parts of Volusia County.
Here, I'm going to show you. Here, I'm in my cul-de-sac, and that's not even the deepest part.
Overnight storms this weekend dropped several inches of rain at once in parts of Port Orange and New Smyrna Beach. Storm drains just couldn't move all of that water out fast enough. Your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed went to Port Orange, where neighbors are on high alert.
It's kind of disheartening to hear that there is going to be more rain this week, that from a 1-hour rainstorm did all of that damage. So what happened was the drains weren't draining.
Tina and Kevin Stevenson's home even sits elevated compared to the road. But this was inside their house Sunday night. They had French drains put in after the hurricanes in 2022 and 2024 flooded the area in hopes they would help.
For that reason, when it, gets flooded back there, it's supposed to just go through the pipes, the drains, and go to the main drain in the cul-de-sac. It couldn't do that because that was backed up.
It wasn't just their neighborhood that flooded in Port Orange Sunday night. This is the aftermath in Seaside Gymnastics Training Center off Eastport Parkway. A viewer on Palmetto Street sent us this video saying it was after about an hour of rain. And Lauren Benning on Brittany Avenue off Spruce Creek Road says the water nearly took over their car parked in the road.
I don't remember our street being so flooded from just a regular rainstorm. Something is not right.
Is that becoming more regular?
It is.
These homeowners we talked to now asking if the city's projects it's promised to update its stormwater system are actually working.
It begs the question, what are they doing? What kind of work are they doing? Are they coming out and are they actually checking their drains to see if they're clogged?
I reached out to the city this morning to ask these questions in an interview, but I was told no one was available to speak today. I'm in Port Orange, Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
Now to a school scare in Marion County. Police are working to figure out how a 9-year-old got a gun and brought it on a school bus. Officers tell us they were called to the bus in the area of 14th Street and 27th Avenue north of College Road this morning in Ocala. Investigators say that 4th grader brought this loaded revolver onto the bus, which was on the way to College Park Elementary. The student did not threaten anyone, but other students saw the gun and they told the driver. The Marion County School District says the child faces serious discipline and legal consequences. Meantime, in Flagler County, a 15-year-old is accused of bringing a gun to school and pointing it at another student on campus. Investigators say this happened in the bathroom of the McDonald's restaurant in Palm Coast Town Center after school. Sean Goska Jr. is now facing several charges, including aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Well, she has already been removed once from office, and now State Attorney Monique Worrell finds herself again under scrutiny by state leaders. Florida's Attorney General took to X today demanding Worrell drop a murder charge against a woman involved in a road rage incident. Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti is outside the state attorney's office.
The Attorney General claims that Monique Worrell's decision to prosecute this case likely constitutes a breach of her ethical obligations. Worrell, for her part, contends that Uthmeier is just playing partisan politics.
This morning, our office is again putting Orlando's State Attorney Monique Worrell on notice.
Attorney General James Uthmeier sending this letter Monday to State Attorney Monique Worrell, urging her to reconsider her decision to prosecute 48-year-old Tina Algeo, who in December of 2024 shot and killed Mihail Setkov after a road rage incident escalated.
Most of the witnesses who we've talked to so far has said exactly what the video seems to support, which is that My client was in a car when she was attacked by the guy who opened the door and started beating on her, and I think that is an appropriate basis from which you can argue self-defense.
Mark O'Mara represented George Zimmerman in his criminal case, and now he's defending Tina Algeo, contending in a recently filed motion to dismiss that his client was justified in using force and thus should be immune from criminal prosecution, an argument that Uthmeier amplified in a video posted to his tens of thousands of followers on X Monday.
State Attorney Worrell, who historically has not prosecuted a lot of cases she should have, did so here in a case against a woman who justifiably engaged in self-defense, who justifiably stood her ground.
Worrell argues that it was Algeo who instigated the whole incident after hitting Svetkov's car, an act that Algeo says was an accident and happened only after Svetkov hit hers. In a statement responding to the AG, Worrell called out Uthmeier's, quote, inexperience with criminal prosecution, saying it risks public safety and the credibility of the criminal legal system. She went on to say that the justification for invoking a stand your ground defense is a matter for judicial determination, not partisan politics.
Do you envision a scenario where the AG weighing on this could backfire for your case, even though he's imploring Monique Worrell to drop the prosecution?
I would much rather fly under the radar. I don't need to have the Attorney General and the sitting state attorney tussling over me, my case, my client's case, anything like that, because I'd rather just do it the way it's supposed to be done. I don't want external sources or pressures, be those political, social, whatever it might be. So I'm troubled by that.
So while O'Mara would rather fly under the radar here, his client's case will very much be on the radar of a judge on October 30th. That's when an evidentiary hearing is scheduled, and the issue of immunity from criminal prosecution will be broached. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Well, it was a home invasion unlike any other, and it left a Florida homeowner in fear.
Yeah, he didn't come face to face with a hardened criminal. No, a wild boar burst through a sliding glass door, and it did not calm down for deputies. The story when News 6 at 10 continues. And speaking of animal encounters...
Holy, that's a bear!
A local deputy and her canine chasing down a suspect on the run. Instead, they came face to face with a bear. See what happened next.
Usually when we talk about assessment fees skyrocketing, it's at condo associations. Not this time. It's here in this city for single-family homeowners for maintenance. This story coming up.
You're watching News 6 at 10. We are live on a Monday night. We're covering Cape Canaveral.
Calm down.
Claremont. I will not. And all of Central Florida. Now on News 6, an assessment fee fight in Winter Springs.
Now, we've covered assessment fees soaring across Central Florida, especially at condo associations, but this potential hike could double fees in one of the oldest and largest subdivisions in Seminole County, Tuscaloosa.
A third of the people who live in Winter Springs live in Tuscaloosa. That's around 4,000 homeowners. Your Winter Springs community correspondent, Eric Von Anken, is digging into this.
At the main entrance to the Tuscaloosa community is one of its most noticeable features, the fountain, newly repaired. The streetlights lining Winter Springs Boulevard are up for updating, and the median, once meticulously manicured, could use some care. But all of these things, of course, cost money to maintain, more so every year, according to the city of Winter Springs.
Anytime we ask our community for additional funding.
And according to this group, the Tuscaloosa Lighting and Beautification District Advisory Committee, which oversees the maintenance, and is asking city commissioners to approve hiking homeowners' fees to pay for the rising cost of maintenance.
Nobody wants a fee increase. I don't want one, you don't want one, but our community is really aging.
People who live here in Tuscaloosa have been paying for the maintenance in their tax bill since 1999, with a yearly assessment currently $128 per household.
Now, the Tuscaloosa Lighting and Beautification District, that's the TLBD, wants to double the annual assessment to $255. People just got this notice in their mailbox telling them about the proposed hike, and the vote on this tomorrow night at City Hall.
In this 130-page packet, the city explains the purpose of the proposed increase. Over the years, maintenance costs have increased beyond the maximum allowable rates, and the fund balance is depleting.
But after the notices showed up in mailboxes, more than half a dozen posts showed up on Facebook, generating collectively hundreds of comments, most of them strongly opposing any fee increase. The Winter Springs Community Association even organized a petition protesting the hike, and even one of the board members at the last meeting acknowledged the blowback.
Year after year, it just looks bad, and it just looks bad, and it just looks bad. People are thinking, what am I paying into it all? But we sure have some fountain situation going on over here. And I can't tell you how many people have said, screw the fountains.
And I can't tell you how many people are going to show up here at City Hall tomorrow night for the discussion and then the vote on this. But I can tell you the mayor has been asked to talk about this at several homeowners meetings recently. He said at one of them, organizers requested that police be there. That's how contentious this has gotten. We'll let you know what happens, of course. I'm your Winter Springs community correspondent, Eric Von Anken, News 6.
Holy that's a bear.
Yep, now to a close call for a deputy and her canine in Volusia County. The sheriff's office says the pair were in the woods looking for a suspect on the run, but encountered a bear instead. Now, in video from above, you can see just how close that deputy and her canine named Gator were to that bear.
Everybody, including the bear, got away unharmed, which is pretty crazy how close they got in the middle of the night. That would freak me out. In another part of Florida, deputies responded to what they're calling a boar glaring in progress. Boar.
Gosh.
Right? That's a big, mean, feral animal.
Just came through, busting through the back door.
Look at that bad boy.
A boar glary.
A boar glary.
You know, that looked so strange in the teleprompter. Deputies were called to a home after a wild boar, now do you get it, burst through a sliding glass door and then appeared to stare down the homeowner in the living room. This happened in Lee County. This thing charged at deputies. It was aggressive. They were trying to wrangle it, but eventually the thing got away. Fortunately, no one was hurt.
Yeah, that is very fortunate because they can be very dangerous. If you get the horn on that thing.
If they get that little tusk on you,
yeah,
did you say
yeah.
horn?
I mean,
you gotta watch out for those horned wild boars. Hey, Jonathan Kagas. Yeah. So it was a pretty rainy day, pretty rainy weekend.
Absolutely.
Tonight, is it calming down at all?
Just a little bit. In interior Central Florida, the further you're away from the coast you are, it's much quieter. Where we're going to run the risk of a couple of those late night downpours and thunderstorms, mainly clinging to the coast. We do have a couple of very light showers around Ocala, just on the north side of Denellen as well. Otherwise, though, things are quieting down for us in Marion, Sumter Lake County. We still have some showers going on in Ormond Beach tonight, just to the east of us in Pearson. You can track these downpours and thunderstorms alongside me tonight and get the heads up again tomorrow when there's lightning in your area by downloading that free News 6 weather app. Again, we're going to be in and out of these downpours for the remainder of the evening. Now, here's what happens as we move into tomorrow. This is 6 o'clock in the morning. Wouldn't be surprised if we do wake up with a stray downpour, especially north of Mims and Titusville, right along the coast, up into Palm Coast, Marineland, on the Flagler, Volusia Coast as well. The real stuff, though, gets going later into the afternoon. Here's lunchtime. We have a couple of scattered downpours and thunderstorms close to I-75, and then watch what happens. We start to get things really cooking. 2, 3, 4 o'clock, widespread thunderstorms. Some of these could be strong, packing a punch. Heavy rain, lots of lightning. Those are going to be the main threats. There's 7 o'clock. A lot of action likely going on the radar. But we keep going late into the evening. That's 9 to 10 o'clock, and we are still dealing with a lot of heavy rain right along the coast. So watching for, again, possible flooding issues, especially in urban areas with all the runoff, with those high rainfall rates like what we saw today and certainly like what we saw last night. All because of this front here, area of low pressure developing along that front as well. And that's going to pump in some moisture to the south of that front, back up into central Florida, and really help these thunderstorms again become efficient rainfall producers. So look at your forecast for tomorrow. Temperatures get back into the mid to upper 80s. We're at 86 in Groveland. Tomorrow, Holopaw, good evening. We are at 88. We're back to an 80% shot for thunderstorms tomorrow. Then we're going to look towards the end of the work week for some big silver lining here, a light at the end of the tunnel. Dew point temperatures currently are in the low to mid 70s. Again, that's all about your comfort. The higher the number, we're typically into the mid to upper 70s for perspective for most of the summer. Back towards the north and west, Atlanta, we're in the upper 50s in the dew point department, Nashville in the lower 50s. That's pretty much prime dew point temperature for your comfort. That's the good window opening weather. Watch what happens. I'm not promising 50-degree dew points by any means, but as we get into Saturday night into Sunday, note that grayish color starts to come down the Florida peninsula. Could be our first cold front of the season. Won't change our afternoon temperatures much. We are climate controlled by the warm water on both sides of the state. However, it should do a number in helping to relieve us from some of that humidity that's been around since what, about May, June? So we're going to take a bite out of it to a little degree anyway. 80% shot for thunderstorms on Tuesday, tomorrow, back to an 80% chance on Wednesday as well. Then we see the rain chances start to drop as we get into Friday, and then especially the weekend as some of that drier air filters in. Look at that low temperature Sunday morning, right around 70. Could dip into the 60s, guys, for the first time since way back on May 16th.
She is the 70-year-old victim of a romance scam, now confronting the man arrested. Romance scams have become big business for criminals. I'm investigator Louis Bold, and I'll have the story coming up. Just last month, News 6 told you about a Volusia County woman who lost $60,000 in 6 weeks in a romance scam. I'm News 6 investigator Louis Bolden. Now detectives have arrested a North Carolina man. And in an unusual twist, the victim got to confront the suspect. It is this week's Schemes and Ripoffs Alert.
Sheriff Chitwood, I'm the one that arranged your trip back here.
Volusia County detectives arrested 56-year-old Corey Woodall for organized scheme to defraud and grand theft for allegedly spending $30,000 of Carol West's money.
This is the young lady whose $30,000 you took and bought the car and the lawnmower and everything?
And something we don't see every day, the 70-year-old victim got to confront him.
How many other people did you spend their money? I was sick. I was sick to my stomach. How could I fall for this?
Last month, we told you West was the victim of a romance scam. She thought she was chatting with Paul LaCamera, a U.S. Army general. The crook sent his pictures and said he was stuck overseas and needed $30,000 in cash to get back to the U.S.
So like a fool, I cashed in my only CD I had and mailed the cash to an address in North Carolina, which I didn't understand why it was going to North Carolina.
Volusia Sheriff's detectives tracked the money from Florida to North Carolina and finally to Woodall, but not before he spent it.
What kind of car did you buy?
What car did you buy?
23 Hyundai.
Woodall told detectives he wasn't chatting with West online, but the money was sent to him to launder, so he was going to, quote, scam the scammer and keep it.
How did you hook up with this guy?
Woodall admitted spending the $30K, but West had already sent the crooks another $30,000 in gift cards and Bitcoin. She hopes to recover some of it. Remember, don't fall for the scheme, don't get ripped off, but if you do, email me at theinvestigators@wkmg.com. I'm Louis Bolden, News 6.
Temperatures, guys, back to the upper 80s over the next few days. 30% shot for storms overnight, 80% chance during the afternoon. Tomorrow we have some rain on the radar right now. We're going to track where that is headed at 11 o'clock.
We got to dry things out just a little bit, especially for the people in Port Orange.
I think this weekend.
Yeah.
This weekend.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan. You can find all of tonight's stories plus breaking news on News 6 Plus.
It is free to download to your smart TV or streaming device. We'll see you at 11 o'clock.